Hi everyone. For those who know me, my name is Miss R, and a lot of you guys have emailed me about various things, whether it's a Supreme Court case or an executive order. And I got several emails on this particular executive order, the flag burning one. So I wanted to address that. For those who don't know me, my name is Miss R. I teach AP Government, which is an advanced government and politics course, and I've been doing it for a couple decades. So I want to address this flag burning executive order. It's been like a week or so. What an executive order is, it's an order from the president to the various departments, secretaries, agencies that work under him, telling them to do something, right? Do this, prosecute this way. This order is going to direct various agencies, particularly the DOJ, the Department of Justice, and the Attorney General, who oversees the Department of Justice, to prosecute flag burning in a different way. Now, I do want to clarify, executive orders are not supposed to make major policy changes. Remember, Congress has the power to make policy, to make laws. That's legislative. They're legislating. The executive branch is enforcing laws and policies already in existence. This executive order does not actually change policy. It simply says we are going to enforce the policies already established by the Supreme Court. So we need a little background. In Texas versus Johnson Supreme Court case, it established that flag burning is constitutional under the First Amendment. It is a form of speech. It is a form of expressing your political, maybe religious, but political dissent, and therefore protected as a First Amendment right. Now, we do know that our freedom of speech, actually all of our freedoms, are restricted. There's a limit to them, right? Like we can't say whatever we want. We can't just do whatever we want. There are limitations. And the question is, where do we draw that line? Now, I always say this to my students. You do not have to agree with the Supreme Court case. You do not have to agree with anything, really. You're allowed to express your opinion. The question is, to what degree is that prosecutable? So when it comes to flag burning, there is a standard that is established really through another court case called Brandenburg versus Ohio. In that court case, it established that speech is protected up to the point of imminent lawless action. What does that mean? So my speech, I can say whatever I want as long as I'm not suggesting immediate illegal action, right? I can't do that, right? Threats, fighting words, violence, inciting a riot. Can't do that. So in other words, if you're burning a flag, cool. If you're burning a flag while inciting violence, while inciting some sort of imminent lawless action, no, you're going to be potentially prosecuted. It's saying that we will prosecute people who engage in those like fighting words, inciting violence. I think the president verbally had said, really inciting a riot is how he interpreted it. So if we are burning a flag while inciting a riot, encouraging other people to join in, that's potentially not protected. So this executive order is taking those two court cases and saying this is just how we're going to enforce them. Now, I always ask my students, look deeper, right? What does this mean? Does this mean that flag burning is not allowed anymore? No. If you want to peacefully burn your flag in your front yard, you're allowed to do that. And it would be very, very difficult to prove in a court of law that you're in any way inciting lawless action. Again, a lot of this is also up to the courts, right? The courts are going to be the ones who interpret this. Somebody gets arrested, they go to court, the court decides if they're actually breaking a law or not. So politically, what does this mean? Well, a couple things. One, it says in the executive order, they may pursue litigation to refine this or to reconfigure this. Does that mean they're going to challenge flag burning? Maybe. Does that mean they're going to potentially challenge speech as a whole? Maybe. We don't know, right? We don't know what that's going to look like. That's a ... to be continued. Now, politically, why, right? Like why do this, right? Well, one, if you get a lot of images of people burning flags, especially if it's the opponent, that potentially could be fodder for your commercials, for your ads, for your politics. It could, in a way, benefit the Republican Party if a lot of Democrats go out and start burning flags. Now, what's happened is actually many people on the right have actually said, hey, we don't like this, right? We want to express our opinions. We want to burn flags. We want to have that freedom, right? A lot of times, this is an area where the left and right actually align in terms of respecting freedom of speech, kind of classical liberalism. So there's been a little bit of pushback from both sides. And then there's some people who are saying, hey, we shouldn't burn the flag at all. Like, it shouldn't be allowed. So there's just two different, ways of thinking about that. And I'm not here to tell you one is right or one is wrong. That's up to you to decide. As far as what this legally means, though, is that somebody burning a flag while inciting violence, inciting imminent lawless action, could potentially be arrested and go to court. They'll still have their day in court, but they could potentially go to court. It does not change, refine policy. It simply is enforcing policy already established by the Supreme Court. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, send me a message. I can, try to answer to the best of my ability. If you have any questions about anything else, hit me up. You guys, I love talking about all this stuff, and I'm always here to do that, and hope y'all are doing well, and I miss you. Bye.